A quick reminder about gauging NFL mock drafts 3 months out before the actual fun in late April. Focus more on the position than the player. Less than gallery. 2019 NFL mock draft 11.0 greater than public draft boards remain fluid and will remain in this flexible state for several weeks before hardening in early March after the combine. Compared to pro scouts and front office personnel, outside analysts are always behind the curve. Opinions change once sources share internal projections and rumors spread. There is also more time for homework on a concentrated batch rather than all of college football. Alabama safety Deontay Thompson lived in the top 10 before the college football playoffs. 2 games later, mock drafters dropped him into the 20s after struggles against Oklahoma and Clemson. Kentucky edge rusher Josh Allen, Oklahoma guard Cody Ford, Kansas State offensive lineman Dalton Risner and Alabama running back Josh Jacobs are among the prospects positively trending. Team needs, however, remain stable for weeks, outside of the rogue trader contract extension. Clubs are not permitted to enter into contract negotiations with unrestricted free agents until March 11. With the knowledge of strengths and weaknesses, study how many players at a position of interest are mocked with a general range of your team's selection. This is more important for now than a specific prospect at a precise draft slot. Now, it wouldn't be kosher to put entire mock drafts from other entities on our site. Click here for my latest full 2-round mock draft. Instead, here's a sampling of what football thinkers are envisioning for the Redskins in the first round. CBS and USA Today, Kyler Murray, QB, Oklahoma we have a trade. CBS moves the Redskins to the Green Bay's selection at 12, while USA Today jumps Washington all the way to 9 via Buffalo. Both scenarios have Washington selecting a Heisman Trophy-winning quarterback reared in the Big 12 Conference. Apologies for the Robert Griffin III flashbacks. As discussed here, the Redskins may at least need to jump Denver at 10 and Miami at 13 for a passer, assuming Murray or Ohio State's Dwayne Haskins slip past the Giants, 6, and Jaguars, 7. NFL.com, Malcolm Brown, WR, Oklahoma Pro Football Focus, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, WR, Stanford analyst Daniel Jeremiah, states Brown, a true speed threat, makes for a tempting option assuming Washington sorts out its quarterback situation. PFF's Steve Palazzolo writes Washington needs to replenish their receiving core and Arcega-Whiteside has one of the best combinations of body control and contested catch skills in the draft. All fair points, but consider me a tad dubious about the Redskins going with a pass catcher at 15. The Redskins certainly need receiver help and more offensive playmakers overall. Adding a veteran ready to help meshes more with the coaching staff and perhaps front office, likely putting more of a premium on immediate success after missing the playoffs for a 3rd consecutive season. If slot target Jamison Crowder resigns, that may eat up any remaining dollars directed for a receiver. ESPN, Jachai Polite, OLB, Florida Mel Kiper Jr. sends an edge rusher to Ashburn, specifically Florida's Jachai Polite, who finished with 11 sacks this season. This need races to the top of Washington's list should the team move on from free agent Preston Smith, and does not believe 2017 second-round pick Ryan Anderson can handle the gig. SB Nation, Byron Murphy, CB, Washington. There are a number areas Washington could address with a number 15 pick, writes Dan Catter. Cornerback is one of them, and Murphy is pro-ready corner thanks to his instincts and ability to play the ball in the air. Again, fair points, and Murphy's cover skills have some league voice considering him the draft's top corner ahead of LSU's Greedy Williams. However, the Redskins could not really justify a corner in the first round if Josh Norman stays. Now, should they decide the high-priced defender provides more value as a salary cap casualty, then corner becomes a screaming need. It also looks like there will be a handful of corners potentially around on day 2, including Clemson's Trayvon Mullen. Redskins news. Almost a month after his release, former Redskins safety D.J. Swearinger voiced some highly critical comments of Washington head coach Jay Gruden on his Instagram page. "That coach y'all have will never win big cause it ain't at him to coach discipline," Swearinger wrote in a comment on his page. "The backstory here needs telling. While Swearinger was playing at a high level for Washington in 2018, he was clashing with the coaching staff. Swearinger was released before the Redskins' final game of the 2018 season after the safety made damning comments about defensive coordinator Greg Manuski. Swearinger alleged that he watched more film than the defensive coaches and questioned the team's scheme in a critical moment of the Week 16 loss against the Titans. This was not the first time Swearinger had gone public with complaints about coaching. It happened multiple times in 2018 and also in 2017, after an ugly December loss against the Giants that caused Swearinger to criticize the team. Gruden publicly admonished his safety. Privately, the coach made clear that the behavior would not again be tolerated. Then, the Titans game happened. Swearinger blasted Manuski. The safety was released a few days later. Below are Swearinger's full comments from his Instagram page that came in a reply to a Redskins fan saying he missed him on the team. "Y'all will never win big, bro. I've seen championship swagger from a coach he That coach y'all have will never win big cause it ain't at him to coach discipline. It ain't in him to chew somebody out in practice cause they lacking. When you say I'm a cancer for wanting to practice harder or wanting to get coached harder just to win, then winning probably not for you, or you don't understand that hard work pays off. Mediocre work get you beat. Remember this, winners are born but champions are made. A strong leader of men make others around him better. Spread peace, love and elevation in everything you do, lil brudda. Be easy. Nobody would question Swearinger's effort in practice or workouts. He's a hard worker. For the season, he logged 4 interceptions and 3 forced fumbles to go with a sack and 53 tackles in 15 games. Football Focus ranked Swearinger the 13th best safety in the NFL, and he had been named as an alternate to the Pro Bowl. Obviously, Swearinger was not released because of his play. The coaching staff just felt they could no longer tolerate his public criticism, and some on the staff had felt that way for a long time. It should be noted too that for a talented player, Swearinger has bounced around a lot. The Texans released him 2 years after drafting him in 2013, despite having 2 more years on his rookie contract. Tampa signed him, and released him after 7 games. Things worked out in Swearinger's next stop with the Cardinals, where he played for part of 2015 and the full 2016 season before signing with the Redskins as a free agent in 2017. The Redskins cut Swearinger despite having another year on his contract for a modest $4.5 million price tag. Arizona claimed him on waivers. One bizarre note in all this: the actual photo Swearinger posted to go along with this comment had nothing to do with the Redskins. It was a picture of Swearinger with Larry Fitzgerald, with the safety congratulating the receiver for his recent announcement that he would return for the 2019 season. More Redskins news. Over the last 4 seasons, the Redskins are 3-1, 3-2-1, mediocrity defined. Problem is, the team believes they're on the verge of something grander. "We're in the middle of the pack," Bruce Allen told reporters Tuesday at the Senior Bowl. "It means you're close. It means you're close to being better. Yeah, we were 2 games out of a playoff," Allen added later while reviewing the 2018 campaign. "No matter how you want to look at the season, we were 2 games out of it, and the year before we were 1 game out of it, and the year before we were 1 game out of it. 4 years. 1 forgettable playoff appearance followed by 3 misses. If Washington truly thinks that they're legitimately close to breaking through, then they will never break through. Think back to this past weekend, where 4 elite groups battled it out for Super Bowl spots in 2 epic duels. Can you imagine this iteration of the burgundy and gold ever reaching that level of football? Sure, if you ignored the many flaws, perhaps you felt the 6-3 Skins, who led the division back in November, could do some measure of damage in the postseason. Allen, Jay Gruden and others in Ashburn point to that stretch whenever they can. But even that group, when it was still mostly healthy, felt at least a level below top contenders. They came out totally flat in their home opener, suffered a pair of 24-point losses and gave up 500 yards to Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Bucs during those 9 contests. You know the rest. Multiple quarterbacks went down, as did a slew of other contributors, and the Redskins' hopes went with them. "We didn't finish strong," Allen said. "I'm not going to use injuries as an excuse because we had some opportunities to win some games at the end of the year that we didn't." He's right in not wanting to use the battered roster as an excuse. But even then, he brought up this heartbreaking injuries again later on and mentioned hopefully having a healthy team for the 2019 season when answering a question about bringing Gruden back as coach. And therein lies the issue. Even when everyone's on the field, there currently aren't enough difference makers to elevate this bunch out of the middle of the pack. Plus, who cares about being 1 or 2 games out of a playoff spot? That may signal something worth building upon in the much longer seasons of the NBA, NHL or MLB, but in the NFL, where you only play 16 times, 1 or 2 games represents a significant gap in quality. Yes, there's something to the Redskins finding themselves on somewhat stable ground. That hasn't been the case for much of this century. That said, Washington absolutely can't get comfortable with where it is and must avoid acting as if it's on the cusp of something special. "If we can keep our team together," Allen said, "I think the fans saw a good football team." As long as that's the thought process, the only thing Redskins fans will see are other franchises playing in January and February while theirs keeps coming up short. More Redskins news.